Matt, on behalf of the Pickaway County Women's Republican Club, it is my honor to award you this 2018 Patriot Award.
I'd like to thank everyone tonight for coming. My parents, my grandparents, my great uncle Jimmy came up from Guiding County for this today. Got to thank for Mayor McElroy, Safety Director Mr. Hammond, Chief Baird, Deputy Chief Chapman, Sheriff Radcliffe, all the elected officials, Judge Harsher, Judge Neese. There's so many here, I don't want to forget anybody. Representative Hood, members of the City Council, Commissioner Stewart, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody or missing somebody, and I do apologize for that. Glad to hear you able to come here for turning out to be a beautiful evening. The rain stopped and it seemed like it cooled off a little bit, so that's good. And definitely a thank you to the Pickaway County Women's Republican Club. Thank you so much for hosting this. Thank you for this wonderful honor. The meal was wonderful. As she said, I started my career at the Circleville Police Department back in 2003 as a dispatcher. I knew I wanted to move on. I wanted to become a police officer. I went to the academy. I wanted to find a purpose, some way to make a change in people's lives. Attended Police Academy at High University, and as she said, obtained the commission as an auxiliary officer in 2004, trying to figure out how to make a difference in people's lives. In 2005, May, I was fortunate enough to get hired full-time at the city of Circleville. One thing that, as she said, I'm a big advocate for Haven House. I'm extremely fortunate that I've never experienced any kind of domestic violence in my life. From an early age, my parents told me it was never acceptable to hit anybody you live with. And this is how I thought that everybody lived. In fact, until I left for boot camp in 1993, I wasn't aware I lived in the Beaver Cleaver household. I'm 44 years old and I've never seen my parents argue. They've been married for 46 and a half years. It doesn't mean it didn't And my grandparents were married for
67, 68 years.
68 years. We've been together since they were 19 and 18. Although I've never experienced it, I cannot stand domestic violence. It's one of the reasons I did get into law enforcement. I've always wanted to protect those who cannot protect themselves. I met the director of Haven House, Lisa Johnson, soon after I started at the police department. Her personality, if you know Lisa, is one that you can't help but love. I've watched Lisa selflessly dedicate her life to victims of domestic violence. She has done an amazing job with the shelter. Lisa is always open to taking calls for help no matter what time of day or night. She's been an invaluable resource to law enforcement, always sacrificing to give the victims of domestic violence a warm and dry place to rest their heads. Haven House has always been one of my favorite charities. I truly believe that the work they perform benefits our community and positively influences the lives of battered victims. Last year, I was honored to receive recognition by Haven House for the work associated with the domestic violence victims. And this past spring, I was asked to become a member of the board, to which I enthusiastically said yes. I know Lisa and her staff have made such a positive impact on women's lives, which have not only rescued them, but enabled them to move on and become independent and empowered women. Through Lisa's and her staff's efforts, the new Haven House is set to open in July. The new location will be more modern and have more space. Please join me in giving Lisa and her staff a round of applause for their work. In the fall of 2017, Chief Baird, Pickaway Area's Recovery Services Director Barry Bennett, and Circleville School Superintendent Jonathan Davis and I worked on a grant submission. The grant was originally for the Angel or DART program, which is designed to help the addicts help the addict who overdoses. This is an amazing program, but it's only designed to help the ones addicted. The common theme we are seeing on these overdoses were children in the home. Many of these children do not have the basic necessities of life. We believe these need to be addressed. We wrote a grant to engage the children of the addicts instead of the addicts themselves. Although we were not awarded the grant, admittedly because we did not fulfill the grant parameters, we felt that this idea was worth pursuing. This is where Foundations for Youth was born. We realized it would be an uphill battle, but if we didn't help these kids, it is possible that no one would. In the past 15 years, we have seen many activities for youth in Circleville go away. There was the fire that destroyed Circle D, which is a popular hangout for kids. Then there was the closing of Pickaway Lanes, the movie theater, and the city pool. There was a common theme we heard from the citizens of our community. There's nothing in the community for these kids to do. We knew something had to be done to engage our youth in a positive manner. We were fortunate to receive a call from a representative from Ohio Attorney General DeWine's office, Tia Moretti. She had read the grant proposal and believed we had something unique. In fact, the AG's office did a search of the entire United States, and there were no other drop-in center anywhere with the concept of incorporating police, recovery counseling services, and schools into one. We were excited in March when Attorney General DeWine spoke at Ohio Christian University on the opioid epidemic and publicly announced the opening of our center. After countless hours of hard work and dedication, our dream became a reality. Foundations for Youth opened its doors on April 3rd. Tuesdays were chosen because we were offering a meal, and the local churches had meals available on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This night would give one more night where we knew the kids would have a full stomach. We were hoping to have at least 15 to 20 kids the first night. We were completely caught off guard. On the night where thunderstorms were raging and tornadoes were sounding throughout the county, we had over 100 kids at the center. We thought this is just a fluke. But again, we were wrong. We have consistently averaged between 100 to 150 kids each week, and man, can these kids eat. We have been fortunate. Several local restaurants have been extremely generous to our cause. Many have donated several food items free of charge, and the remaining at greatly reduced prices. Restaurants are not the only businesses that have been supportive of our center. Our local media has been extremely generous in advertising activities. Both the Circleville Herald and the Scioto Post constantly run articles in the center, not only promoting it, but recognizing the donors who contributed goods and services. Another huge supporter of our center is Mayor Don McElroy. He not only promotes the center throughout the city, but usually stops by the center on Tuesday nights just to see how everything is going and if we need anything. Mayor McElroy has always been a strong advocate against drugs in our community and mandated the police department to aggressively fight drugs. Through engaging youth at a young age, we believe we are fulfilling this mandate by using it as a tool for prevention. We have received some large donations from various entities in our community. Those include the Pickaway Foundation and Steve and Gary, as well as many, many others. A unique aspect to Foundations for Youth is the incorporation of the faith-based community into our program. We believe by incorporating the faith community into our program, we can instill morals and values into these children's lives. We have been fortunate to receive legal assistance from local community, or from our local legal community as well. Attorney Mike Hess, Matt O'Leary, and Kendrick Kenny Lieber have and continue to donate their time and services to make Foundations for Youth possible, and we do appreciate that. When Wendy Gardner from the club approached me about this award, she mentioned that a donation would be made to the charity of my choice. Of course, I had two: Haven House, the Pickaway County, and Foundations for Youth. While there are many worthy causes in Pickaway County, these two have a special place in my heart. And I know that they have proven impacts on the people they reach. I'm very proud to be associated with both organizations. And I do ask, if you're looking for any worthy charity to donate money, please consider both of them. Your money will definitely be used to make positive impacts in our community. I would like to thank everyone in attendance tonight, and I hope you enjoyed your meal prepared for us. God bless.
Don McElroy.
Thank you, Danny. Before I read the proclamation that we have prepared for Sergeant Hafey, you've heard mentioned a couple times Foundation for Youth. I don't know if you really know what that means or not, but I want to tell you what it is. Our community, we think, is the first community in the United States that has anything like Foundations for Youth. On High Street, next to Picca, we have rented a building that the police department and the fire department, as of yesterday, interacts with young people that come from broken homes. We have worked with schools, after schools, the kids bus these kids to this Foundation for Youth. We get to feed them. There are television sets that was purchased by the police department, by PARS, by PICA. There's pool tables. There's so many activities. One of the activities I saw was kind of like a paintball contest against the police and the young people. I will tell you the young people won. But it's every Tuesday. It starts at 6 o'clock. If you have an opportunity, go take a look at it. It's only going to get better. We hope to find another location for them and bring more kids in. They're really needed. We constantly hear, what are we doing for kids? Well, guys, we're doing something for kids. And it's pretty exciting, and it really was started by our police department and our chief. What an honor it is to be here to recognize you, not only because you worked with the city of Circleville, but you've become a very good friend after 6.5 years, so thank you. This is the Office of the Mayor, City of Circleville proclamation. Whereas Matthew O. Hafey has worked with the Circleville Police Department since 2003, serving as communications officer, police officer, and currently serving in the role as police sergeant. And whereas Sergeant Matthew Hafey has served in the United States Navy for 4 years, was appointed to the potential presidential support team. Whereas Sergeant Matthew Hafey has volunteered his time with Haven House and served on its board. Whereas Sergeant Matthew Hafey was instrumental in the development of Foundations for Youth and volunteers regularly. Now, therefore, I, Domdar McElroy, proclaim June 13, 2018, the Sergeant Matthew O. Hafey Day. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the police chief of the city of Circleville, Chief Bear.
Well, thanks for having us here tonight, and thank you very much for this honor for Sergeant Hafey. He is a unique officer to have as part of our department. I do say that in all the positive ways.
It's from a cremento to a roast.
It could.
He's also a unique son.
Well, I would agree, I'm sure. I've been blessed with a department of really dedicated men and women. And Matt is just a piece of that, but a critical piece of that as a sergeant. He mentors a lot of the younger officers, and he's definitely an example of what you want to see out of a police officer, as well as out of a supervisor. And I always enjoy getting to talk to Matt. He'll tell different stories about his family and things. Just recently, he was telling me about his grandfather, who was a World War I veteran. I think Matt has been fortunate enough to be able to have a strong foundation in his family. You can see that out of his history of service. Everything from scouting as an Eagle Scout in school, through the Navy, and as a police officer. He also has a unique perspective of the department. He's one of the few that can know what it's like to be a dispatcher, as well as a police officer. And so I noticed many times the way he deals with things and how he acts is from a different perspective. Also, Matt really does take community involvement to his heart and seriously. His involvement with Haven House is a passion of his. Everybody in the department knows it. Everybody at the department knows how much he cares about it. And everybody knows about, he is always an advocate. If Haven House needs something or wants something, and Matt's aware of it, we'll find ourselves doing whatever that is that we need to do to help them. Matt also has been an integral part in Foundations for Youth, and as the mayor talked about, it's something that we collectively as a group knew we needed to do something, but we didn't know what to do. And we had heard people talk over and over again about there had to be a change in the community, there had to be a better way of dealing with the kids needing mentoring and places to go and things to do. We just wasn't sure exactly how to do it. Over several conversations in Matt's office, with Post-it notes everywhere because we don't know how to properly brainstorm anything. We tried to come up with how to solve this, and eventually we came up with the center. And all of my guys have really been involved in this in some form or way, making sure that each other has the ability to go down and help or come up with ideas or any number of things. And it really has been grassroots. Everybody in the department has taken some sort of part in it and had some sort of pride in it. I think the reason it's successful is because of that. There's a lot of passion and heart behind it. And Matt is a critical component in that. And he truly believes in it, and I think that's why he's willing to put so much of his heart and his time into it. Matt is a very humble individual, and I think that shows when he deals with things. He does believe in servant-based leadership, and we are out there for a different reason. Most officers probably get into the job not to be servants, but to drive fast cars and shoot guns, if we're going to be honest. But I think over time you start to understand how important the job is that you have, and in all actuality, the responsibility you have to your community is much greater than what you ever realize when you're 21 years old. Because of that, guys like Matt are able to take our younger officers and help them get to that point quicker. But it takes time, and having a guy like him there helping is why we have a good department. And with that being said, I feel a great deal of pride, and I'm really happy to get to hear the good things about Matt. All too often as police officers, we only see the bad things or the bad people. We don't really notice that there are good people out there, and sometimes you fall into a little bit of a valley of just not thinking that there's good people out there. And the good people far outnumber any bad people. And when you do something like this for an officer like Matt, you don't quite realize what it means to not just him, but his whole department, the profession as a whole. So on behalf of my entire department, I thank everyone for coming and sharing this with us.
Good evening, everyone. I'm April Gibson. I'm the Southeastern Ohio Regional Representative for Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor. I cover 21 counties in Southeast. I was really honored to get this call to do this. Your rep for Lieutenant Governors in this area is Mr. Jim Wassel. But now when I heard it was an officer being recognized, you all think I'm just another pretty face from Columbus. I actually work out of my home. I hail from Muscatine County. I'm actually a semi-retired officer. 24 years, I was the chief bailiff and intensive probation officer for 2 judges. I teach in 6 police academies, so this was very, very dear to me to be able to do this for you, sir. Mary could not be here, but she will be at your opening at your fair. Sergeant Matthew Hafey, Circleville Police Department, upon receiving the Patriot Award. On behalf of the great state of Ohio, we congratulate you upon receiving the Patriot Award. We are eternally grateful for your selfless sacrifice and dedication to your community and our country, and we are inspired by your commitment to serve others. We commend you upon receiving this well-deserved recognition, and we extend our best wishes for continued success in all your future endeavors. On this 13th day of June 2018, Governor John Kasich, Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor. Thank you, sir. Now, it's a great pleasure. I get to introduce a gentleman that's not a stranger to your county. He certainly isn't a stranger to Muscatine County, a dear friend of mine, Mr. Ron Hood, State Representative, House District 78.
Congratulations, Sergeant. Well, I have a commendation from the House of Representatives, and yes, it's signed by Ryan Smith, Speaker of the House. Yes, we finally have a speaker. So on behalf of the members of the House of Representatives of the 132nd General Assembly of Ohio, we are pleased to pay tribute to Sergeant Matthew Hafey on being presented with the 2018 Patriot Award for Community Service Excellence. This special distinction has been accorded to you for your exemplary patriotism and service to the community. A veteran of the U.S. Navy, you served in a ceremonial guard as a radar operator on the USS Peterson and completed a tour of duty at the Pentagon. In addition, you worked as a dispatcher for the Circleville Police Department before becoming a full-time officer, and most recently a sergeant, and you have been active with the Haven House Board and the Foundation for Youth Center. Obviously, a lot of community involvement here. Indeed, you have brought insight and exceptional ability to important endeavors, and you have striven to fulfill your myriad goals in a competent and responsible manner. We applaud you on your tremendous work. Thus, with great pride, we congratulate you on achievement and extend best wishes for the future. Thank you.